I'm ready. I had to get through that quick because I'm ready for this segment because we've got Joey
Certified
Kapusta
your
on.
boy!
What's going on, Joey?
Mike, Aaron, what's up, fellas? Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it. It's been a while, man, but I'm happy to be back talking to you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been trying to get you back. I know life's been running good for you guys, especially with Philly and the podcast. And I know that you got things going on with your family and everything. But it's great to have you back at least before the season's over here, man. I know it's not the teams we wanted, but we might still get some fireworks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We could always talk ball at the end of the day. I mean, even if it's not the teams we love, we can always talk ball. I always love doing it.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about here, kind of with you, is with those Eagles. I know that Philly fan is always ready to win a Super Bowl every year, but they didn't get it done this year. But it looks like there's hope on the horizon. And the first thing I want to say is, where do you stand on the great debate of, does Jalen Hurts got to go, or is he ready for another? You think he's the guy going forward? Because I see that from Philly fans on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, anytime a Philadelphia quarterback incompletes one pass, you're going to see a quarterback controversy. It is what it is. It's either go get Joe Montana or trade everything for the number 1 overall pick. That's just always what it is. But I'll put it to you like this, guys, and I want your honest answers on this. I'll ask you questions back in return.
Fair enough.
Is there any way Aaron Rodgers chooses to go to the Philadelphia Eagles?
Hell no.
No. Okay. Is there any way you and your favorite team would feel comfortable going after Deshaun Watson with all of his legal issues?
Yes.
Not right now.
Okay, not right now.
Right,
okay.
You're right.
Now, your only other scenario here for upgrading the quarterback position is a 34-year-old Russell Wilson, where you would have to absorb a lot of your cap with his contract. And you'd have to give up those 3 first-round picks, maybe 2, maybe 3, who knows? So you're taking Russell Wilson and putting him on a team to where you can't build around him with less depth and less talent than he had in Seattle. And they just missed the playoffs with DK Metcalf and
Tyler Lockett, etc.
Tyler Lockett. So what are we doing here? So what are we even talking about? So the best thing to do is to keep Jalen Hurts, use those 3 first-round picks, use the cap space that's cleared up now that Wentz is off the books, and just go forward and build around him. I think at the end of the day, it's about winning games, guys. And is Russell Wilson going to be that much better than Jalen Hurts as far as team wins? Maybe 1 game, maybe 1.5 games. But what are we talking here at the end of the day?
Yeah, and right now what Jalen Hurts is doing is getting the Philadelphia Eagles into the playoffs, by any means necessary. So I'm with you on it. I think we talked about this, Mike and I, before, and I think Jalen Hurts has earned more time. And plus, I think he's fun. I think he's fun to watch. When he's playing well, absolutely. So,
Joey, I want to add this about Jalen Hurts to give you confidence. I was never a fan of his at Alabama. The more I watched how much he worked. Every year he got better at just a little something else. He's never been the greatest thrower, but I promise you, give the man chances. He's humble and he works. I became a fan.
Hey, look, I was the biggest Carson Wentz guy on the planet. I was Team Wentz. Why are we drafting this guy? Like you said, I wasn't a fan of his at Alabama, but the more you watch him, the more you watch the work ethic, the leadership, the want to. You have to get behind that. And I know the players get behind that as well. So I'm interested to see going into year 3, basically his second year starting, what he could do when we put assets around him. So I'm cautiously optimistic, if that's a nice way to put it.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, and for me, he's got one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard in a while. The Rents do every day. So yeah, Jalen Hurts is a guy you got to go to battle with. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into this Super Bowl number 56. You have Bengals and you have Rams coming up this Sunday. Like you said, it's not the teams we were rooting for, but I'm excited at the matchup. You got Matt Stafford, I wouldn't say journeyman, but the guy who's on a journey in Detroit of just mostly lows, but some highs, a couple playoff appearances. But now you give him 1 year with McVay, and here he is hosting a Super Bowl against Joey Burrow, the young up-and-coming kid, first full season in the Super Bowl, the star in the making here. And I still think we got good storylines here. You?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been thinking all week, for like what this game is about, and I'm getting a lot of 2017 Eagles vibes from the Bengals.
Yeah, me too.
Basically, the underdog mentality. I know that's probably been used to death, but a city that is kind of like the second cousin to the other city. We played the Patriots and Tom Brady, that huge Boston area fanfare. and now they're playing LA in LA. And we all know that LA is like one of the biggest sports markets in the country. So it's little old Cincinnati, never won a Super Bowl before. They got the second-year quarterback. Wentz was a second-year quarterback, even though he was injured with us. And it's just getting hot at the right time, doing what you got to do at the right time. A lot of times people say, oh, the best team won the Super Bowl. It's the team that got hot right down the stretch and kept staying hot that wins the Super Bowl.
Eli Manning.
Ask the Patriots.
Ask Eli Manning.
Ask the Patriots when they lost to the Giants. It's all about getting hot at the right time. And I know the Joe Burrow fanfare, the nicknames, the memes, all that. It's kind of like the sexy, trendy thing to do right now.
Right.
But if I had to ask you guys, who do you trust with the game on the line, Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford? If it came down to it, what would your answer be?
I like this guy.
I love it.
I want to know.
It's true. Right now, for me, it's Joe Burrow, because when the game was on the line, I've seen him 3 times do it in these playoffs. And for Matt Stafford, I mean, I'll give him credit, more so the defense in that NFC Championship game. But when Tom Brady was breathing down his neck, coming back, 27-3, he made the throw that needed to basically slay the GOAT, and I'll give him credit for that. But right now, just maybe I'm buying the hype of Joe Burrow, but I'm leaning toward the Bengal quarterback here.
Well, speaking of Joe Burrow, Joey Kapusta over here. I want to say that Aaron talked about that throw, but then the next week we got a 49ers player on Twitter saying I got to get better because I got to make the interception that ends that game as well.
That's why I said I gave the Rams defense more credit for the NFC Championship, because the NFC in the NFC divisional, the Rams defense let Tom Brady come back on them. So I'm still with Burrow.
Teams win games. I know the quarterbacks are always fun to talk about, and rightfully so. It's the most important position in football, but teams win games. And I just feel like this Bengals team is a scrappy, whatever we got to do to win type team where, look, I know Jamar Chase is going to get a ton of targets, but Tyler Boyd can have a game. T. Higgins can have a game. CJ Uzomah is back. He could have a game. And I think when you look at the Rams, not that anyone's done it yet, if you find a way to take Cooper Kupp out of that game, it makes it a lot different game. I will say on the other side of the ball, though, I know the Bengals had to rotate offensive guards against the Chiefs because they were getting whooped up front, and now you got to go against Aaron Donald, so that's going to be very interesting.
That is a scary matchup right there. That's the one that scares me too. It's is it going to be Turnstile City for freaking Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and these guys? Because what did Joey Burrow get sacked 9 times against the Titans? Something like that.
It was close to double digits.
It was 9.
So.
The other thing too for me, Joey, with the Bengals is, if it is a close game, just like I remember the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, the greatest show on turf, back 20-something years ago when Mike was like 4 years old. All they had to do was keep it close, and then they had automatic from the kicker position. And it seems like the Bengals really have that right now too. So that's kind of an advantage in my opinion.
Again, if you want to look back to that 2017 Eagles ties that I talked about, Jake Elliott being a rookie who was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals that year. Wow. So it's all coming full circle, guys. I got this underdog city Cincinnati team that reminds me of my 2017 Birds. Just, you got the second-year quarterback, you got the rookie kicker and the cool thing about being a rookie kicker is you don't know whether you're good or bad. You're just going out there kicking. So you can't ice me. You can't say I've never been here before. You can't say I have been here before. I'm just going out and kicking, knowing what I do. And you can see, Evan McPherson's doing his thing. It's just, I don't know. I got this weird feeling about the Bengals, and I love rooting for underdogs, obviously being a Philly fan and having that we beat the big guy, the big bad guy. LA doesn't have sports fans. Let's be real. Like, they're just worried about being all glam. They're worried about showing up courtside to Lakers games or whoever's best. If this was the Chargers in the Super Bowl, the same LA celebrities would be there for that game too. They don't care which LA team it is. So that's why I really think the Bengals have that it factor this year. Get hot at the right time. Be that junkyard dog, blue-collar team that just goes up and surprises everybody.
So, I mean, you talk about it, Joey. I don't want to get your prediction just yet, but I got to ask you, is this more, do you think it's going to end up being a cute story? I mean, I know they're a great team to this point, but I'm telling you, man, Chiefs were not supposed to lose that game.
Yeah, the
And
Chiefs were not supposed to lose that game. And talking about that Chiefs-Bengals game, by the way, I think that in the media and as podcasters, people that talk sports for a living, we tend to get praise to the same players over and over and over again. We need to throw some criticism at Pat Mahomes for that game because he was just waiting to make big play after big play, going off script, not protecting the football like he should have.
right.
And he was part of the reason that the Bengals got back in that game and did what they did. You look right before halftime to throw to Tyreek Hill, not knowing the timeout situation. The game could have ended earlier than that when he got sacked, fumbled on the last play of the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that Linebacker made a good play.
Yeah. So again, that's just I look at if you would have told me down 21-3 in Arrowhead with the Chiefs having the ball, would any team, let alone the Bengals, come back and win? That shows a lot of fight to me. That shows a lot of we're not ever done until there's zeros on that clock. So again, the Chiefs kind of lost that game more than the Bengals won it, in my opinion.
Right.
But still, takes two to tango. The Bengals had to do what they had to do to win that too.
This guy's almost convinced me, I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, you've gone from after the championship games, you were back with the Bengals, no chance, and now I feel like you might actually bet them this week on Friday there, Mike.
Whoa.
You're not there yet. I think you're getting there. I think Joey's doing a great job at his active persuasion here. But for me, let's go to the other side here. I think the pressure is all really on the Rams. Home game. Matt Stafford, they traded the capital to get him. You know, he's been in Detroit. This is his first experience in a Super Bowl. And for me, like, how do we grade, regardless of how many points they lose by, if they do lose this game and the Bengals do win this game, how do we grade this situation for the Rams? I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff has done that. You know, if they don't win it, Jared Goff has done that. Is this still an acceptable trade? Yes, I would imagine.
I think it's an acceptable trade because you have to gauge it based on the overall process versus the end result. Because if we're just basing it off winning the Super Bowl, then how many teams can we say had successful trades? Was DeAndre Hopkins a successful trade for the Cardinals by just giving up David Johnson and a pick? Absolutely. Have the Cardinals won the Super Bowl? No. So we can't look back and say that. Now, I know that the Rams have a bigger issue because they don't have a first-round pick till like 30-29, something like that.
Till the next millennium, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying there. So the Rams are your classic push all the chips in. We're going all in. I haven't even looked at the two cards I've been dealt, but I'm going all in blind here, guys. It could either make or break me. So to answer your question, it's tough because if you do not win the Super Bowl, look at who's free agents next year. I mean, you got Leonard, you got Von Miller, you got OBJ, two key pieces in this Rams team, and they can't afford to re-sign either of those guys. They know they're rentals. They don't have any first-round picks to revitalize that roster after they leave. So, look, the pressure is on the Rams, like you said, and I really think because the Rams already got there with Jared Goff, yeah, they lost pretty bad. They only scored 3 points. But I think you got to look at it as somewhat of a not winning trade if you don't win at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, they can only grade it a success if they lose, but they score 4 points, right? Is that
that's right? Yeah, we're a little bit better than golf in that scenario. Yeah,
fair enough. All right, Joey, we got about 90 seconds left here before the next commercial. I want your prediction and I want some bets if you got them, maybe some props. I know I kind of can tell which way you're leaning, so give me a prediction and if you got any wagering on this game.
Yeah, my prediction. I'm gonna go Bengals 31, Rams 27. Okay.
Nice.
I know we got about a 4.5 point spread in favor of the Rams last time I checked. Not sure if that's still accurate, but
48.5 the total. Yep.
Okay. If you don't like my pick of the Bengals, since I've been hyping them up and I'm a Philly guy that's crazy and likes underdogs, take the Bengals to cover. Take them to cover that, whether it be by, it's 4.5 gives you at least that 3 point spread. If you're feeling a little froggy at halftime and it's looking good, go to the second half, hit that money line on the Bengals. I like it. If you want a prop bet, you already know Joey B is going to be throwing to his boy Jamar Chase, college teammates. Do the Disney song in the background. We're going to Disney World from LSU to Cincinnati, Super Bowl champs. They're going to pepper Jamar Chase with targets, and I do not think Jalen Ramsey's going to travel because as much as he talks, I don't think he's traveling with Chase. They have too many weapons on that team.
That's a totally fair assessment. I didn't think about the Jalen Ramsey aspect of trying to shut down Jamar Chase because you're right. It just might be T. Higgins. You got an MVP in this game that's not a quarterback, maybe a dark horse candidate?
Dark horse candidate? Look, this is going to sound really bad, but if there's going to be an MVP that's a dark horse candidate, that's not somebody you know, let's go CJ Uzama. Let's go that tight end that's coming back off an injury that was really Burrow's security blanket and has shown that he's a lot more athletic than we give him credit for. So if that Rams secondary is focused on that big trio of wide receivers, Uzama could have a big game.
Love it. I love it. Uzama. Yeah, he's had some hype games this year for sure. So, well, Joey, we appreciate the time. We love having you as always, and we just thank you so much. Where can we find you guys? I know Talking 215 on Twitter. Obviously, we've got your information up there, but what are you guys going to be talking about here coming up with the Super Bowl and maybe after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. We have some great guests coming on the show. As you can see, I'm wearing my Jordan Mailata M-Hop shirt. We've had Jordan Mailata on the show. He's coming back on. The Eagles' future all-pro left tackle. So we've had Mark McMillan from the early 90s Eagles teams with Buddy Ryan. We got a whole bunch of Eagles guests coming on, and we actually have some MLB players that are going to be coming on talking about this holdout, this strike, whatever you want to call it. Getting back into baseball, do they have some good news, some bad news? I don't know, but I'm at Scooter McGilly 1, Joey Kapusta, but you can find me at Talking, that's Talking without a G, Talking 215 podcast. And guys, as always, charge on, go Knights.
Certified,
go Knights.
boy.
I love it. All right, we're going to head to commercial, but once again, special thanks to Joey Kapusta. Find them. It sounds like there's going to be some big things happening on Talking 215 on Twitter, and check out the podcast. Joey, always a pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks.
Yes, sir.